Okay, so it's looking like it goes back to this goes back to 1939 and 1954. 1939, 1954 and 1986. I think that this is actually this law goes back to then, and it's still in effect through IRS. So this helps explain and understand those constitution clauses which they're trying to prove, which the courts are not really going for it at all. But this helps to prove that the full extent of them, or further extent of them. And actually, no matter what other amendments they've made and changed, this is actually still the same with the IRS now from what it was back then. So I don't think that citizens can take illegal action against an election campaign. See if we can find out any specifics. Congress made major statutory changes to Title 26 in 1939, 1954 and 1986 because of the extensive revisions made in the tax. Title 26 is now known as the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. Published number. So this is what we're trying to find. Applies to the statistical work conducted by the U.S. Central Bureau of Federal Tax Returns. Publication of all statistical products by the Census Bureau includes those based on Title 26. Front matter income taxes, estate and gift taxes, employment, miscellaneous, joint committee and taxation, trust fund code. An act to revise the internal revenue laws of the United States, be it enacted, this is what we were looking for. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled that the provisions of this act set forth under the heading Internal Revenue title may be cited as the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, formerly IRC 1954. The Internal Revenue Code enacted on February 10, 1939, as amended, may be cited as the Internal Revenue Code of 1939. This act shall be published as Volume 68 of the United States Statutes at Large. It's statute law, with a comprehensive table of contents and appendix, but without an index or marginal references. The date of enactment, bill number, public law number and chapter shall be printed as head note. Setting precedent, effect and provisions. statutory notes, the redesignation of 1954 Code, the Internal Revenue Technology. Provided that applicable to payments of interest, dividends, Subtle H heading, financing of presidential election campaigns. Subtitle H. The table of contents is inserted for convenience of users that was not enacted as part of the Internal Revenue Code. Private foundations. Presidential Election Campaign Fund. Presidential Primary Matching Payment Account. Primaries. Trust Fund Code. It says the distribution of materials that endorse or oppose a campaign. Surely, you know, there's actually quite a bit of information about it in what I found. Surely, what is material that opposes a campaign, right? If you write out a statement to a court, right, that says that, oh, you know, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is cheating at his thing, or, you know, he tricked me on my ballot, or he's not filled his driving licence in and I want him taken off the ballot. That is the statement that you submit to the court, right, the affidavit and the papers is his material that is opposing a campaign and also seeks to stop it. Surely, it's material that opposes a campaign. Don't be fooled by this, right? When it's talking about organisations or groups or bodies, a citizen, when he is acting without profit in respect to campaigns, he's acting as a citizen in a political capacity, right? I don't think these churches and so forth can have a legal case against a campaign. It's not any of their business. They're taking the law into their own hands because the the government body which is responsible for registering with and running the elections and so forth and counting the petitions, they're the ones who check everything is done in order, right? Not private persons. Not private persons. It's a little bit like, like, look, right, I've had this is an argument with the 38 Degrees website. Look, right, if you go around collecting signatures, right, put it this way, some of the people, some of the public, some of the citizens have been complaining that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., his staff who collect signatures have been folding the top of the page over, or they couldn't see this or that, right? What about the other way around, right? Let's say that you go collecting signatures and everyone writes down a false name, their wrong name, on the ballot, right? Is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. going to get sued for that, for false details or information? You can't make a person tell you their real name when you're asking them. They might just give you false information, and then all of the petitions are invalid, right? Whose fault's that? But well, they gave false information. But would Robert F. Kennedy take them all to court and prosecute them for fraud, or would the police have to do that? He probably won't bother. What if everyone did it? It's in the Representation of the People Act. I mean, when you go and vote now, you only put an X anyway. You only put a tick in a box or an X. You don't even all your details is already kind of registered, because if the ballot is spoiled, they just discount them. They just discount them. They don't count them. Now I had 38 Degrees. They removed my petition from the website because a guy that I hired, I paid him. He went and fetched a load of dodgy signatures information, but I didn't have anything to do with it. So I didn't commit any fraud or lie. But it doesn't really matter whether he did it or not, because I could go around all the houses and they could just lie, right? And the thing is, I mean, are you going to prosecute them all, right? It's almost kind of like they've got some element of free will, in it. There are laws and rules in the Representation of the People Act, but it's mainly for treating people for signatures and things like that, not them giving false or wrong information. I don't think anyone ever gets prosecuted for it. I shouldn't have had my petition removed. And at the end of the day, what happens is if the information is wrong or not valid when they're checking it, it doesn't count. And if the authority, the body that's checking it, the reason that people's addresses and names have got to be, people lose sight to why the names and addresses are even on the sheet. They're not just on the sheet to ding, for a bulb to light up and say this is valid. They're on there so you can find out if it's valid or not and check. Why? Because you can get in contact with them. If it hasn't got their details on, how can you check if it's valid or not? People forget why these things are on there. And then what the council are going to do if the person, signed it, or put false name on? They can't even find them. If someone signs it and puts a false name on it, how are you even going to find them? If you go around the whole town, right, and everyone writes, makes a name up, right, how do you know who did what and who did which one? You won't remember exactly what house you went around unless you filmed the whole thing. It's just like a needle in a haystack. It's not going to happen, It's like almost like poetic license or something. It's just too immense to bother with. It just invalidates the thing. But the candidate's not liable. The person running the petition, if the citizens had the power to fail a campaign and invalidate it, right, then what the opposition could just do is sign false on the petition, And then when the person doing the petition, like RF Kennedy, hands it in, then the guy checking it goes, oh, it's worthless. It's not worth all these signatures are dud. And then he says, did you commit fraud? And you say, no, the people, they said that these are their names and addresses, right? Now, at that point, can the citizens fail Robert F. Kennedy, have him disqualified because his petition is dud, invalid, by their will? Can they do it by their hand? Can they say, right, in their heads, right, if we all write down, false names or the wrong name on his petition, can we crash it? Can we fail it? Can we spoil it? That's the word, spoil it. And I don't think they can, because then the citizens are spoiling the petition, right? Because they're misbehaving, right? Now, if some of those signatures are valid, right, and correctly signed, then surely the ones that are correct count, and the ones that aren't don't count. See, it wasn't the candidate's fault, but those persons spoiled it on purpose. It's all about spoiling, but you're protected from that. You're protected from the citizens having the power to write it off, to write the whole process off. The citizens haven't got the power to write the whole process off, because if they did, I mean, they might as well just not sign it. But they might want to go further than not sign it. They want to actively, what happens? They want to stop other people from signing it. So it's not just a matter of them saying, oh, well, I just won't sign it, and then he won't win, because they say, well, other people might sign it and they might win. So what they do then is they spoil it. They say, well, if we just put crap information on there, rubbish information, then he might get thrown out. You're protected from that, right? Now, the thing with Kennedy is, in good faith, he put this address down or whatever, and what the citizens are doing is that they're trying to take this legal case or prosecute or take action against, right? So illegal campaign intervention, you're not allowed to spoil something, to fail a campaign, to ruin it. So writing your name down wrong on there will be failing it or spoiling it or ruining it, right? This is the thing. So it's this is the thing. I'm sure that material that is designed or intended to in somehow fail the case, but even a statement or affidavit against Kennedy to try to fail it, you're not allowed to try and fail it. If you don't support it, you don't sign. If you don't support them, you don't vote for them, right? We're talking about actively trying to find a way to get them kicked off, thrown out, or stopped. But you're not allowed any material that is potential to do that is not allowed. It's not for the citizens to actually, the citizens sign, right? The citizens sign or vote. They don't count them. They've got volunteers who count them, who are meant to be impartial, right? When they're counting them, they're working to count them and validate it. That's all paid for or volunteered, right? That's not when you're going around the citizens signing it, right? And the thing with the court case is you've got people who are signing it who are going against it with a legal case, right? If they think something is wrong on it, then they're meant to report it to the, to the authority or commission that's in charge of registering with it or checking with it and so forth. Because then that impartial entity is going to do an impartial investigation, right? Now, you might say, well, the people are taking an action through the court and the court are impartial. But the thing is, those people use material and raised a case against it and used the court, right? And the court is not the place that's counting it or checking it. That's the thing. The court is... they're using the court to try and say that there's something not done right, which was supposed to be checked and so forth with these other authorities that they register with. It's not. This is the thing. Organisations, groups, and entities, right? When they're not for profit, they're not allowed to act. They're not allowed to initiate actions against campaigns or private individuals when they're acting in that capacity as a voter. Whether this is the thing. I don't think, because it's just like them spoiling a ballot, and they might be, they're the ones who create the information. How did you even get registered? How can you even get registered and go about collecting the signatures if you haven't complied with the rules? It's just insanely stupid. So this is the actual political campaign intervention now. Political campaign intervention includes any activities favour or oppose one or more candidates for public office. The prohibition extends beyond candidate endorsements. Beyond candidate endorsements. So a candidate endorsement is when you're endorsing the candidate. Maybe it extends to legal cases then. Look, it says the prohibition extends beyond candidate endorsements, so it could extend to legal cases then. If it extends beyond candidate endorsements, look, extends beyond candidate endorsements. Contributions to a political campaign fund, public statements of support or opposition. Is a public statement. That's an affidavit. So the public statement. A statement, you write a statement. When you go to the police, you say, can I take a statement from you? Sir, can I take a statement? That's a statement. You're a member of the public. A statement. That's material. It's in opposition. If you write a statement out that intends to try to prove to someone that someone should be taken off the electoral ballot, that they can't run as an elector, they want to stop them being an elector, they don't want people to be able to vote for them anymore, that it is in opposite, it exists, it is an opposition, even if it's through a legal, even if it's through a court. This is the thing. The statement which oppose, the statement exists for the purposes of proving. Look, the signatures are evidence of public support. The signatures on the petition are evidence of public support, right? That's evidence. So the elections a process. If you try and prove that R.F. Kennedy Jr. hasn't put his address properly, that is a statement, evidence, in opposition to Kennedy. Just like the signatures are opposition evidence, the signatures for Kennedy are evidence that Kennedy should win the campaign, right? Made by or on behalf of an organisation, and the distribution of materials prepared by others that support or oppose any candidate for public office all violate the prohibition on political campaign intervention. Well, a statement which is trying to prove that someone should be disqualified, surely that is an intervention. It is an intervention. Factors in determining whether a communication results in political campaign intervention include the following. Oh, here we go now. Whether the statement identifies one or more candidates for a given public office. Well, you have to identify Robert F. Kennedy Jr. if you want to bring a case against him. Who? You're going to go into a court and say, I want to sue someone, and then say who? Well, I don't know. You got to identify him. The statement, whether the statement identifies one or more candidates. Oh, it's the candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for a given public office. Whether the statement expresses approval or disapproval of one or more candidates, positions, and or actions. Well, the action that Robert F. Kennedy did was filling in his address, filling the forms in to be the candidate. They disapprove of it. They're disapproving of him doing the action of filling his form in, right? Whether the statement is delivered close in time to the election. Whether the statement makes a reference to voting or an election. Well, it's making